Welcome back to the GODSU Wednesday Icon Talk. This is yours truly, His Excellency Dakar, and I'm the Director of Operations at GODSU and also the MC and engineer for our shows. And tonight we're interviewing our GODSU alum, Dr. Patrick Freeman, Chaplain, and he just graduated August, and we're going to introduce him tonight. And he's the CEO of Artesian Development, and he is the owner of Minor Football League franchise, Rochester Chargers MFL. So without any further ado, our Chancellor and my brilliant co-host, the Right Honorable Her Excellency, Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, please take us away.
My pleasure. And you forgot to also mention, he's a cover boy. Look at that. He is on the front cover. Let me make sure you can see that gentleman on the front cover. That's right. On the front cover of the Empower You magazine, the GODSU African Royalty edition. And he is right here. And here is his wonderful, wonderful bio. You want to see that? There he is. There he is. He's center cover. Oh my goodness, on the cover and in the center. Well, I want to introduce you to Dr. Patrick H. Freeman, Chaplain. He is the mighty Obey. That's right. He's CEO of Artesian Development. Patrick Freeman is the feature writer for the Buffalo Criterion newspaper. He now offers his 27 years of experience in sports broadcasting to help young broadcasters master the art of delivery and interviewing. Over the last 27 years, Patrick has covered the Buffalo Bills, 20 Super Bowls, and NBA, college, and high school athletes, but more than anything else, he is an MFL owner. That's right, Minor Football League owner. From 1994 until 2008, he hosted the acclaimed talk show, The Message, in which he interviewed some of the most famous authors and celebrities of the last century, including Dick Gregory, Earl O'Farrell, Hutchinson, Andre Reed, Bob McAdoo, and Donald Sly Green. He also completed a study of the temples and pyramids of Egypt under the guidance of Dr. Asa Hilliard. In fact, we have a course that we're teaching with Dr. Asa Hilliard, and I went to school with his son at Georgetown Law, so this is great. He was later initiated into the Holy Royal Family. Patrick has received many awards, including the prestigious Eye of History Award, Black Achievers in Industry, and many more. He's also a life member of Omega Psi-Phi Fraternity, Inc., District Deputy Grand Master Emeritus of the 7th at the Masonic District of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Great Lodge of the State of New York. And in 2006, he was elevated to the 33rd and last degree of Masonry by the United Supreme Council Northern Jurisdiction. He's also a member of the Pro Football Writers Association of America. In addition, Patrick is an ordained minister in Universal Life Church and has spoken at numerous churches and programs throughout this year. Patrick also is a founder of Artesian Development, LLC, specializing in residential development and rehabs with over 20 rehabs completed, and is now building new housing in South Fulton, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. Patrick most recently became the owner of the Minor Football League franchise, Rochester Chargers, MFL. And it is my honor and my privilege, and wait till you hear his voice. His voice will just take you away. And this wonderful man, you can see all the pictures here dealing with him, see all the photos. He is an icon, and that's why he is our Wednesday icon, our man of God, unleashing legacy successfully, moguls, and that's what he is. So Dr. Patrick, I see you're a cover boy. I see you're being featured in magazines. I'm just so impressed. I want you to tell us what has been the key to your journey.
Well, I think it starts with your parents and their guidance. Everything begins in the home, and I was so lucky to have two of the best parents in the world. The late Dr. James J. Freeman. He is a fellow alumnus of yours from Georgetown. He received his PhD in biochemistry, physiology, and endocrinology from Georgetown in 1966. I think that picture in the magazine is at his graduation, and I put that in the magazine to honor him. He was exalted to the highest degree of ancestor in 1993. And my mission in life is to make sure that my mother remains as comfortable and happy, because she said she only had one love of her life, and that was my dad. And when he passed away and was exalted to the degree of ancestor, it was my determination to make sure that I made her life as happy as possible and take care of her until she reaches her day. So that's my motivation, and I do that every day. I just try to get better each and every day. And one of the great blessings that I received was to begin my process with Global Overday Seminary and University. It was an honor and a pleasure, and culminated in my final interview with the Chancellor, which I think we are spiritually and mentally connected, because it just seems so funny that you began reciting something and I began reciting it. And also, we both were familiar with some of the great works of Dick Gregory.
Awesome, awesome. And I want to let you know that we have 13 new African Studies classes, Africana, and we wanted you to be one of our assistant professors. So get ready for that.
I'm ready.
You are outstanding, and we would definitely love to have you on our platform as one of our assistant deans. You're so well read, so well studied, and you're a master at what you do. You're really a subject matter expert, and your body of work speaks for itself. I want to ask you, Dr. Freeman, what are some of the initiatives that you're doing at this time as a mogul, as a leader?
Well, one of the things, one of the gifts that I received from being involved with this great seminary and university, I started transcribing my interviews that I think are just invaluable. And one of the great things from this, I started working with Her Excellency Moore-Eubanks, which you all know very well. And she is helping me produce my first book. And it is a culmination of those interviews. And I would eventually like to donate those interviews to the seminary and university as a means to produce revenue. I just think that the work of this university is so important that this could be one of my great gifts to give back to what you have given to me so far. And it is an honor and a pleasure to be involved with GODSU at every level. And you know, my big brother is Dr. Richard D. Miles Sr., who I think is one of the greatest men on this planet. He has helped me. He helped me get involved with the university, and these are some of the great gifts that I'm working on now, and also making sure that my franchise in Rochester does more than just play football. It extends to the community and help uplift our community and help them have knowledge of self, so we can begin helping ourselves reach the levels that we should reach. And those are some of the foundations of the Minor Football League, because everyone associated with us must give 100 hours of community service back to the communities in which we're located in.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you're doing some outstanding things, not just for GODSU in terms of your teaching, in terms of you're making sure your book is ready, but some of the things that you're doing with the MFL, with the young people that are right here in Rochester, New York. Tell me some of your plans in terms of the community-based plans you have, and also the plans for your players to make sure that they have longevity in their finances, because so many people, they play these sports and within 6 years, they're asking, you know, may I take your order? Would you like fries with that shake?
Right.
So with that said, kind of tell me some of the initiatives that you have in those areas, please.
Well, that's one of the great things about the Minor Football League. Dr. Richard D. Miles Sr. has always told us that our goals is to give players an opportunity to go from the field to the front office, to become general managers, learn the business side of it, so that when your playing days are over, that you can become a person that can move on to ownership and run these franchises. Uh, these other leagues don't necessarily do that. That is one of the main focuses of the minor football league. So we can make sure that these players have opportunities after their playing days are over. So we're doing that along with going into the communities with our initiatives. Our initiatives are, some of them are no thugs, no drugs, athletes in motion, give me $1, we'll make a scholar. Those are things that we're doing in the community. And you see, I've been around Dr. Miles a little bit. You begin to sound like him in
That's
many
a good
ways.
thing. That's a good thing. We love him. You love him.
He's a great man.
Later.
Great man.
Yeah, he's coming on later.
He is my big brother, and he's done so much for me. But those are the things that we do with the Minor Football League, and we're preparing to expand over into Africa. Our African commissioner is another GODSU alumnus, Dr. Charles Alawali. So everybody seems to be connected with Global Overday Seminary and University, and we've become one big family with the same goals in mind that we're doing at every level.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's about frequency. It's about being on the same frequency with the people you're around. It said that the 5 people that you surround yourself with, you become the average of them. So if your focus is media, hip hop, watching movies and superficial things, that's where you're going to end up. However, if you are around great men and great women, like the ones we have at GODSU, then no wonder you are rising to the top as you are, and you're reaching all your goals, and you're so successful and so inspirational. You know, so many can learn from you. And it's important that our youth find out that they can get to the heights of heights emotionally, financially, and physically, doing good things. You know what I mean? Being an entrepreneur, being a proper role model and mentor the way you are, and that they don't have to do some of the negative things that they see on TV in order to get attention, to get fame, and to get acclaim, because that's what you're doing. You're out there just building legacy, doing it successfully, doing it with kindness, and bringing others with you. I think that is great. I wanted to ask you, you're a recent graduate. What was your graduation experience at GODSU, up to the preparation and up to the final day? Tell us about how you felt about that.
It was awesome. It's memorable. Even though it was virtual, but I could feel the love from all the graduates, and the distinction from the university. All of you looked absolutely professional. It was well done and had a high level of taste. And I can't remember the sister's name, but she's the former head of the African Union.
Ambassador Arikana.
Oh, she stole my soul right there.
I know, she brought it down.
She is something else, and that's what we're about. And in merging with the Minor Football League and what we're trying to do on the continent of Africa, along with the university, I think this is just a perfect marriage made for us to uplift humanity. And it's just, my graduation was just awesome. I could not believe, I was just on cloud 9, and it felt like we were all in one place. That was the great thing about it.
And that's the thing with GODSU, one race, human in one space, earth, with one embrace, which is love. And that's what we bring, and that's what we want you to experience, that you are part of the family. And everything that the family does will be to lift you up. When you have your book, you can actually write a course around your book, have your book as a textbook, teach the course, and monetize it, and GODSU will make sure that you're part of that monetization. Now, I attended, 7 universities, and none of them gave me that opportunity. You know,
That's right.
I'm serious. You're reading a book of somebody who died 200 years ago, and you know, you can't make any changes. Here you are, you came on board, and you already have a broadcasting show with interviews that GODSU will share. You already have a book that we're making sure is written, and we're also ensuring that that you're going to be teaching here with the university because you're an icon. You're not 22 years old, you know, wet behind the ears, coming out with a bachelor's. You are a certified, verified subject matter expert based
Well,
on your
thank you.
body of work.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And I wanted to ask, how can anyone reach you to be a part of your franchise, to come to your games, to help with your business, to book you to speak? Tell us how they can reach you, please.
They can reach me at 716-468-3190, or my email is pfreeman@gmail.com. And we have a website that is about to come online soon. We will be the first digitally authorized website for the MFL at rochesterchargersmfl.com. That is the website that should be up in the next few days. And we will be the first franchise in the minor football league to be a digitally operating franchise. So I'm really excited about that. And that's where people can get in touch with me immediately. And we're going to do some great things along with the university and continue to do great things in the Rochester community, because we're going to make a huge, huge difference there.
Excellent, excellent. And Dakar Marketing Tools and myself, we were talking about some ideas for you in terms of digitizing even your players, so even off season. But we're going to talk to you more about that because that's
Okay.
pretty exciting. We're going to do that. Well, it's a pleasure speaking with you, and I'm going to hand it over to my excellently dressed co-host who actually dressed me today as well. I tell you, he's a master.
Oh, he's pressed. Absolutely
He is.
impressive all the time. Absolutely impressive.
So
Thank you.
over to you, His Excellency Dakar.
Yes. So now let's get started with our outstanding workers. We have our ambassador, His Excellency Dr. Bafore Ajebewa Chaplain, who is the ambassador of Ghana to the U.S., and he helped with being the spokesperson for GODSU. We have helping with being a speaker, Ambassador Ericana Shambore-Kwa, MD, who is former AU ambassador to the United States. And we have helping with entrepreneurial encouragement, Dean His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, Chaplain, CEO of Roberts Riverwalk Hotel, author of Action Has No Season 2.0.
And I wanted to add that Dean Michael V. Roberts, almost 10 years ago, was the first dean that I ever put on in our deanship here at GODSU. And he's been so instrumental. I have been to events where they've auctioned his time off at $50,000 for the day. However, he's so humble because here at GODSU as our dean, he has put together a course called Action Has No Season 2.0 that will be November the 10th, 17th, the 24th, and December 1st for only $333, and his book is included. So he has done so much for GODSU, and this is another way of him to give back. He contacted me earlier today and said he wanted to be on the call, but he is on a flight right now. But he will be on next week to talk more about his course. But I tell you guys that this is an opportunity. We have to stop complaining. So many things that we are protesting and complaining about, we actually can get them if we start uniting in our community. And that's why we have these gentlemen on the line. And that's why we have a great volunteer like Dr. Michael V. Roberts. I just wanted to add that. And just for some of you who haven't received it as yet, here we have our brand new 320-page magazine with, look who's on the cover that we have here. Oh my goodness. Is this Imam Dr. Saluddin Mohammed that we see right here? Is that him right here? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And is this Dr. Patrick Freeman, Chaplain, Artesian Development that we have right here? Yes, it is. And the most outstanding Assistant Dean, Dr. Richard D. Miles, Senior Chaplain, the MFL. Is that who we have here? You gentlemen are too much. And not only that, we have our magazine, okay? See the courses in the magazine here, and 320 pages. Do you see the quality? Do you see what I'm talking about? And who did this than a 23-year-old that's sitting beside me, His Excellency Dakar. There's more to young men than dropping it low and having your pants hang low and talking crap and talking about my end and all that kind of foolishness when you could be doing this. This is what we're talking about. And at the back, we have the founding family at the back. And so this is what GODSU is about. And we will continue promoting and lifting you all up until you are tired. You're gonna have people asking you, instead of 32 franchises, can you do 320? Because so many people, every country wants you there. That's what we want. We want to be able to turn people away. We want to be able to have our franchises at, $250 million to come in. That's what we're talking about. And not to cut people off, but to bring value to what we do. And so we're so grateful for you gentlemen to be on the line today. I'm going to hand it back over to His Excellency Dakar.
Oh, thank you. You did fabulous. So our following help with administrative work, we have our Vice Chancellor, His Excellency Dr. Moore-Eubanks, Chaplain and CEO of Global Alliance Technical Services. We have Vice Provost, His Excellency Reverend Dr. Joseph Hickman, Chaplain, founder of JH Global Consultancy. And we have Director, Her Excellency Cairo Dr. Eubanks, UNCSR, CLC, CEC Chaplain, CEO, Cairo Speaks, Cairo Writes. And helping with our GODSU app, we have Myanmar Teen USA, the local Miss Teen USA title holder, Sudan A.L. Eubanks, CEO, Sudan Dolls, and Sudan E-Consultancy. And we have our cover. We have on our cover.
You have a cover girl, you have a cover boy. Look at him.
We have
gorgeous.
Yes, Imam Dr. Salahuddin Muhammad Chaplain, who is founder of Muhammad's Marriage and Relationship Services.
Your Excellency, Dr. Diana Eubanks, and all of the guests that we have on today. It's such a pleasure to be with you, and it's an honor, really. I wanted to just say that GODSU is really something that it stays in my mind now. I go to sleep thinking about GODSU. I wake up thinking about GODSU. So GODSU is on the map. I really believe that we're going to be something second to none because of the people that we have involved. And especially because of the work that you're doing and how you push and push and push to make sure that we're making our good better and our better best. So I appreciate you and love you for that. And it's about us doing something. You know what I mean? Do for self. We need to be doing that. It's been taught for years and years and years. Now we got to do it. And I'm really appreciating that we are part of that family that's doing it with GODSU. Global Workers of God. Yes. I have a business called Muhammad's Marriage and Relationship Services, where I try to help families put their lives back together because it's so important. Too many of the marriages are turning into divorces, and it ought not be that. We should have long-standing marriages. I mean, a lot of times people go to the wrong people to get information. I myself have been married for over 35 years, almost going into 4 decades. And I know you've been married a long time yourself. Those are the people that the young people should be talking to. So we want to try to get these families together, and we try to work with that so much. And also being a part of the team to teaching courses for GODSU. So I'm about that, and I'm with you on that. If you want to get in touch with me, then you should go to my website, imamsalauddin.com, or you can call me, and that is 914-475-2605. Again, 914-475-2605. Again, this is a beautiful family that we have. We are striving for excellence. We know that really perfection belongs to God, but if he gave us anything less than that, we'll go to that point and stop. But because there's nothing, we don't stop. We just keep going to be as more excellent, more perfect. The better that we can be, the better it is. And I love you for that. Thank you.
We love you too. And we look forward to your marriage counseling course, as well as your book. We're going to be using your book as a textbook. It doesn't have to be a huge book, because I know you have several books, but just have a book, because we need to teach folks how to monetize everything that you're doing, if there's a way to monetize it. So let me say this. A lot of people will say, oh, you talk about money too much. Let me tell you something. The worst thing you can do for a poor person is to become one of them. So that's why I talk about monetization, because we need to understand that if you're in a position of helplessness, you can't help anybody. So yes, write your book on that subject. It will be a textbook. And at some point, everyone in all the classes that we do all over the world will want that book. Now you become a bestseller. And we don't believe in using Amazon, because people who have $20 books, do you know how much money they get when Amazon sells their books? They get $1. $1.
Right.
The owner of Amazon keeps the other $19. So we at GODSU, we have our GODSU bookstore, yes, managed by His Excellency. And so we have our fulfillment centers. So all the books for the Action Has No Season 2.0, they all come through the GODSU Fulfillment Center. That way, GODSU can get paid, he can get paid, and he doesn't have to get $1, but he can get the true value for his books. And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. And that was our idea, you know, because his books are on Amazon. We know that. We say, how much you get for it? He says $1. We said, we're going to put a stop to that. We're going to put a stop to that. We have to start owning our own, uniting within our own, and keeping our own on a good path. And you forgot to mention that you're a board member of GODSU. He's one of the 5 members of the board at GODSU. So with that said, I'm gonna hand it back over. See, I keep taking it back. I'm gonna hand it back over to you, His Excellency. Take it away.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. And we have another cover boy, as Dr. Diane would say, our Assistant Dean, Dr. Richard D. Miles, Senior Chaplain, who is CEO and Chairman, also founder of Minor Football League, also known as Money for Life. Money for Life, I love it.
Money for Life was something that I said when I was playing that other league, and they used to always say the National Football League, and I used to always joke, most players, older players say, yeah, not for long, because that's what it meant. It's not for long. That's what the NFL really stand for. So when the MFL was founded by me, I always say the MFL, and people say, yeah. I said, you know what that means? They always say, yes. The Minor Football League, I said, no, money for life if you own one. Because now you're talking about generational wealth that you can pass down to your kids' kids. And that's something that's been eluding us for years, as you know, when people of color talk about generational wealth. Yes, I'm excited about being a part of GODSU because I like the things that it stands for. And like I say, I'm not gonna give you all this because you're so used to hearing it, so it sounds like a broken record. Chancellor doing such a great job. But the MFL is the laboratory of change, meaning we want to take former players from the field to the front office, and we want them to understand value about owning. You know, that's something we don't understand and we got to learn. Ownership is very, very important. And I want to make sure people of color get an opportunity to own something. Most people say I'm militant because I'm always speaking up for people of color. Every time one of us speak up for each other, then we militant. Everybody else can talk about the different nationalities, nothing said. So I'm a person of who I am, and everybody know me. I tell you that, you know, I don't worry about whatever people think. I'm about generational wealth. I'm about these franchise. Everybody say this is remarkable. Right now, I'm the only owner of this league, and as you can see, we've been around for 25 years. And I always say documentation be conversation. We're not going to talk about what the MFL going to do. This is what we already have done. I'm excited for it. I'm excited being a part of, you know, a global. I get excited when I talk, and a lot of people say it, and even, you know, His Excellency, they always say, you know, I'm modest. I'm really not. I'm a very arrogant individual, and that comes from because I'm sure of myself. But you know, it's time for people of color to understand ownership. And right now we're so excited. So when they made the call about going back to Africa last year, when I met the African Union, and we was the first to say that the MFL will come. And they said, well, what do you think about other business over here? I said, I'm not worried about what other businesses do here in America. I can only say what the MFL gonna do, and we coming. And up to now, anybody know me, I kept my word, and we all excited about going. But the MFL, you can contact us. My website is mflishere.com. You know, our website, our email is experience.mfl@gmail.com. And the number is 240-551-8031. And I'm just excited about being here, and I'm excited about the collaboration with what the school is. And I say, one of my little kids told me, say, this is the only school, granddad I know got 32 franchise, 32 football teams.
That's right. Everybody only has one. Even the school I went to, Florida State, had one. We have 32 over here. So go deal with that. That's right. That's right. And guess what? Florida State also doesn't have our beautiful, wonderful, look at this man. Look at him. This is our Dr. Miles. Look at that. Superstar. That's right. Can't tell his age. You can't touch this. Look at no more than 29.
Yeah,
love it.
You're going on 29, 65, going on 29. Well, I thank God for everything. And, you know, I'm glad to be a part of things. And, you know, whatever I can do to help the school, as you know, Chancellor, you know, you call me, I might don't answer right then and there, but, you know, I always call back. So I'm definitely excited about being here. Thank you so much.
You always, always call back. And just for a note, here is Dr. Saluddin, Imam Dr. Saluddin. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I just can't stop showing off about I know y'all saying, man, she's just showing off about her alum. That's right. And we're not stopping till each of your billionaires. That's right. We are not stopping till each of your billionaires. And here is the mighty Oba. That's right. That is Dr. Patrick Freeman. Look at this man. You would think it was a handsome contest we're having up in here. We're having an icon contest. That's what it is. All the icons are up in here. You think women are the only ones that got it going on? Well, my men here at GODSU have it going on and more. I'm very proud of each of you. And you know, I can stand up on top of the mountaintop and say, we have the icons here. We have the moguls here. And we have the men with heart. That's right. All of our men here, they take care of their families. They take care of the community. Their word is their bond. We don't want everybody. We had people come to us, oh, we can give you everybody from all the reality shows. And I said, we don't want them. Why do we need them? We have Dr. Miles, we have Imam, you know, Dr. Saluddin, we have Dr. Freeman, we have Dr. Alawale. We don't need them. We have just what we need. We just need to unite and make sure that nothing comes between us. You see, guys, we just got to make sure that nothing comes between us and that we keep that one race human in one space earth with one embrace love. And we just always have each other's back. 360. That's what we do here at GODSU. We have 360 integrity and 360 loyalty. Thank you.
Assistant Dean Dr. Charles Olawale, Principal Consultant at Graffiti Consulting, Inc. And he's also cover of the magazine.
That's right.
And recent graduate.
That's where he is. and he is the chief person for Africa for the MFL, and he's also over making sure that all the MFL franchises have trained chaplains. He promised me he'd make sure that that happens, and also to ensure that they all have financial training, financial literacy, so that they never go broke. You know, money for life. That's right, long money. That's what we have over here at the MFL and GODSU.
And we also have Designated Dr. Deacon Patricia Page Chaplain, who is CEO of Patricia's Inspirational Learning and Training Center and CEO of Patricia's House of Fashion. We have our board member, Her Excellency Dr. Arlene Spann Chaplain, founder of Arlene Sweats. And we have Dr. Adama Koloko Chaplain, founder of Impact Sierra Leone. And we have GODSU supporter, Mr. Melvin J. Johnson Jr., who is CEO for Future Community Dreamers Inc., AFFCD.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I like what Dr. Miles was saying with the MFL. It's a great having so many franchises, and hopefully we can do something here, because along the line, my facility, I would love to have space to train the athletes when they come to South Florida during the off season. Or if they're just here, they'll always be able to train. They can come in with all the family, come in, IDs or whatever, need credentials, and come on in. You always have somewhere to train. Yes, but what I'm trying to do with AFFCD, I need a facility here in South Florida to continue, because all the athletes that I played against, championships I won in Europe, South America, a lot of the athletes, they want to send their kids here. I don't have room and board. The I-20s, it's a big issue now. So it's kind of, my ideas are being kind of slowed down, hindered a little. But what I can say, I can downscale a little. Instead of having a huge milk house like in Orlando, I can have a 3, 4, 5 court facility here where I can continue the training. And like I said, get the simulator in there, give the kids their trade, teach them how to care for themselves. The diet is very important, as we're starting to see with this virus. Diet is very important. We eat at these grocery stores from Publix, Winn-Dixie, but we're not eating it. We don't have a whole food in the Black community. Imagine if our diets change, our bodies are going to change, our kids are going to change, but they have to be taught that also. They have to be taught that. So this is along the line where I'm going. I would love to try to instill all of this in our kids. Like I said, with academics, education, it's so imperative. Our kids, I see the kids now, they're getting away from it. They're so lack with this technology. We didn't have the technology when we were coming up. You know, we went out and we were outside. We were drinking out of water hose. They don't want to drink out of water hose. They want to play on the asphalt. Ask Willis. We were on the asphalt all the time playing, and we did whatever it took. You know, and I think this technology is really hindering our youth, and that's where another thing, AFFCD, the coding is very important. We can teach our Black youth, our young youth, how to code. You know, they're not being introduced to this. They're not familiar with this. So there's a lot that I would love to do with AFFCD. Now that I'm in with Dr. Eubanks and I'm meeting all of you heavy hitters out there, I can learn a lot from you. We can get together and try to see if, introduce the grant writers and try to see what we can come with. Like I said, it's unity. The more we're united, the stronger we'll be. And this is my dream, and let's just go from there. Let's just go from there. All right. It's Melvin Johnson. You can also look at my website, AFFCD.com. I have a little introduction on there, and my telephone number, you can contact me personally, 786-985-7945. That's Melvin J. Johnson Jr., CEO of Aid for Future Community Dreamers.
That is outstanding, and that love frequency that brings people together of like-mindedness is how, at 2:00 in the morning, I got some information, and Yeah, I'm up until 4 working because like you all, I deal a lot with Africa, and that's their middle of the day. And so I stay up until 4 to make sure that all the students, whether they're in Africa, Asia, wherever, they can have connections. And I got a text from Mr. Johnson, and from that, we start talking about the various ways that we can bring money to GODSU. And now we actually have one of the best grant writers I've ever seen in the world. And I've dealt with some fake ones, so I know a real one when I see one. So I want to thank you, Mr. Johnson, for that, and you just stepping in as a supporter to make sure, and we're going to do the same for you as well. Whatever we can do to help within our sphere, we'll make sure it's extended to you. And the thing is that what he's talking about, the social media can slow our kids down. They're getting ready and learning how to do the tick and the talk and all of this kind of stuff and whatever. And they can't tell you any history. They can't tell you any math. They can't tell you anything. They can tell you every Cardi B, every Nicki Minaj, every Offset lyric, but they can't do their schoolwork. They can do their schoolwork. They're just not getting that support. They're not getting that encouragement that it is important to do that. But they get all the applause when they're on the TikTok doing all the moves and doing all the foolishness that cannot amount to much. And I do believe in dance and exercise. I'm a trained dancer, but it has its place. It cannot replace education. It has to be a hobby, a fun thing, or something you do on the side, but you cannot make that your main thing all day. So what you're doing with the kids at your nonprofit is admirable, and we definitely will support it. So thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. Appreciate you.
Dr. Heather Bush, Chaplain, who is CEO and founder of Geeked Up Boutique Incorporated. And we have Chief Gladys MQ, Chaplain, CEO of Good Shepherd Health Services, Inc., followed by our Dean, Reverend Dr. Leo Pickett, known as our singing chaplain, who is the CEO of Leo's Worship and Praise. Can you please give us your 2-minute introduction for GODSU?
Matriculated through school and with my bachelor's and my master's degrees on scholarships. That was a blessing. And then I went to Detroit to Wayne State University and got my doctorate in education, EDD. And I taught for 23 years at the collegiate level in my areas of library science and media technology. Now, since that time, I have worked as a chaplain without portfolio for about 50 years, working in hospitals and nursing homes and prisons. But thanks to my association and joining GODSU, I was able to become a certified chaplain, and with all rights and privileges pertaining. And it has been a tremendous blessing to me because the folk are wondering how I, in the fourth score of my life, could go back to college and get a degree. So it was nothing at all because I had the experience and I had God on my side and GODSU. So it's been wonderful. I may be reached at phone number 301-806-2287. And my email, leopickett62@gmail.com. And my website, www.leos Worship and Praise. And the association with GODSU has opened even more doors. I got a call the other day. Someone suggested that I appear in Marquis Who's Who, educators. So that's coming up. And of course, the Chancellor and I are going to talk about my book, which is also coming up. So GODSU keeps you busy, but it's a good busy. So thank you very much for listening to me.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Leo.
Oh, awesome, Dr. Leo. Perfect.
And we have Designate Dr. Arlene Robinson, Chaplain, who is a funeral director and mortician. And I also helped with administrative work.
Yes.
I am yours truly, MC and engineer, His Excellency Dakar. I'm director of operations at GODSU and the CEO of Dakar Marketing Tools. It is an international graphic and printing company providing you with all of your marketing needs to help you and your company grow. And our popular products are GODSU's African American Bibles, magazines, banners, flyers, branded golf shirts, branded jackets, digital business cards, as well as printed business cards. And we turn your brick and mortar into an e-commerce platform. Last but certainly not least, we have Dr. Patrick Freeman, who also was a outstanding worker of GODSU and our mogul. And he is the CEO of Artesian Development.
To be here today, I'm Dr. Patrick H. Freeman. I am the CEO of Artesian Development, LLC, and I am the proud new owner of the Rochester Chargers of the Minor Football League. And one of the great privileges of my life was meeting a fellow alum and assistant dean by the name of Dr. Richard D. Miles Sr. He is one of the finest men I have ever met in my life. When I first met him, he looked at me and said, "I'm going to make you a general manager." He did. He said, "You know what? I'm going to make you an owner." He did. Now he also told me that I'm going to make you a millionaire. Well, you look at my assets and it speaks for itself. And this was done by Dr. Richard D. Miles Sr. And we are going to continue to be the laboratory of change, and we're bringing the laboratory of change around the world and all the way back to the motherland of Africa. And we're proud to be affiliated with GODSU University and this great chancellor and all of the, we call you the royal family. It is a great pleasure to be involved with this great movement.
Thank you.
And people can, I better say where people can contact me. My email is pfreemanrcmfl@gmail.com. You can reach me as part of the MFL at mflishere.com is our website, and our office number is 240-551-8031, and my number is 716-468-3190. And I am proud to be affiliated with this great seminary and university and its great, great chancellor, who I think is one of the greatest leaders on this planet. You're doing great work along with the royal family. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And you just see me, but there's a whole team behind me. One of the hardest workers right here. And of course, Dr. Willis, who's taking care of other things, is Her Excellency Cairo, Dr. Arlene Span, and of course, Dr. Imam Saludin here, and I can go on and just the hard workers that we have. So you just see me, but I'm just propped up, you know, all these other people are working really hard, and I appreciate them so much. And I want to be the first female owner of an MFL franchise.
All right, there we go.
Get ready for that. I got some muscles now.
Yeah,
don't let this mistake you. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Okay, so I'm gonna hand it back to you. Thank you.
Actually, I want to hand it back over to you because we're highlighting you next.
Oh, okay.
As helping GODSU as the chancellor for all that you do. So we have our GODSU Chancellor, the Right Honorable, Her Excellency, Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, J.D. Chaplain.
That's a long name. The kids say mommy, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's a lot of titles there. But the most important title I have here is I'm the chief servant leader here at GODSU. I do everything and anything because it's not even work. Guys, I don't want to go to sleep at night. I go to sleep 4 o'clock every morning because I don't want to go to sleep. I close my eyes, I may miss a call. Somebody needs help, you know, you'll be surprised. So I really love you guys, and I'm willing to do anything to help you, to to make sure that you fulfill your definite purpose. Whatever it is God has called you to do, if in any way I can facilitate it, or the thousands of people in my network, in my phone alone, I have over 12,000 direct people that I know, and it's not everybody. And if I can open that up to you guys, then that's what we will do here at GODSU. So I want to extend a special appreciation to all the GODSU leaders, all the supporters that are listed in the top 20. Without you, we wouldn't be anywhere. You know, you volunteered your time, your hours. We especially want to thank you who have given names, emails, phone numbers, so people can sign up for our earned classes, because 85% of everything that we do is focused on learning and bringing in new courses for people to learn, be educated on new things. And especially African studies, the tying between Africa and religion, so people understand. There's so many people now walking around saying there's no God, there's no religion, the Christian religion is a slave religion. Please, thousands of years before slavery even started here, the first Christian church was built in Ethiopia. That's rubbish. If someone steals what you have and repackage it and make it their own, it doesn't make it crap. It makes it still good. You just have to understand the history, and with that comes knowledge. So we really are here about education. 15% of what we do is on the honor side, to ensure that we're uplifting our icons and to ensure that we're making sure that we are out there doing our missions. So we really are grateful for the opportunity to work with all of you workers of God, to add to our database and to help more people. That's what it's about here at GODSU. So thank you so much. I am the chief servant leader here as the chancellor. I'm also the provost of our Global Bible Institute. We are an interfaith university in that we acknowledge and respect all faiths. We've had people who leave because they just want to be conservative. They just want to be evangelical. They just want to cut people off and call them all kinds of names. That's not, this place is not for you. We're people who we deal in love, we deal in kindness and compassion, and in education. That's what we do. So with that said, I'm also a licensed financial service advisor, a senior vice president with Invita Financial Network, where we help you, one, how money works. Number two, your retirement, your annuities. We show you how to make yourself, your children, your grandchildren banks. You can open accounts that make you your own bank. You can borrow money from your own accounts. A lot of us don't know that. These are the secrets that Middle America, they don't know. And so we teach them that. We are also a part of the United Nations. We have a UN NGO called New Future Foundation, Inc., the Jamaica chapter. In Jamaica, we provide computer products. We provide solar computers, clothes, shoes, money, books to needy children, particularly girls. Many of them have never had a calculator, never had a computer, and that is why we are doing that in Jamaica. We are under the auspices of the United Nations NGO, New Future Foundation, Inc., Queen Mother Dr. Dolores Blakely, who is the diaspora and Queen Mother for all Africans outside of the continent. So she's very powerful. Right now, we're trying to raise on her behalf $5 million to save her $20 million building that she houses homeless, she houses people who need help. And some rich guys have basically tried to take her home away from her. So that's one of the projects. Yesterday, we were able to send her $1,500 just to help her as she gets ready to hire attorneys, etc. And so we ask everybody to help her as much as possible. So we have some great messages for you below. We have some great courses coming up. So we want you to listen to the message below, and congratulations to our 20 top volunteers, and especially to our mogul, or man of God, unleashing legacy successfully, none other than Dr. Patrick Freeman, owner of the Rochester franchise of the Minor Football League, the MFL. Thank you very much, and hand it back to you.
Yes, thank you. So I want to remind you guys to please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and stay tuned for some following messages. And if you can't wait till next week, look at our past episodes. I'm sure you will be pleased. So thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.
Thank you. We love you. Bye-bye.
Global Ovid Day Seminary and University GODSU is a 501c3 interfaith e-learning Global Florida Department of Education Commission of Independent Studies approved degree issuing religious institution of higher learning under Florida Statute 1005.061F in Miramar, Florida, a suburb of Fort Lauderdale suburbs. Our curricula include programs like our theology diploma, bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs, which are designed for students called to the ministries of teaching and preaching. Program enrollees include pastors, evangelists, missionaries, and laypersons. Our additional courses: Entrepreneurial Studies, premier self-development courses on wealth building. We also offer a mini course for youth, the Junior Ambassador Youth Public Speaking, to gain professional and personal skills. Chaplaincy Diploma, Love and Spiritual Interfaith and Christian programs. Chaplains are trained, certified leaders attached to either a religious and/or non-religious institution or organization. Cybersecurity IT courses. Our licensed instructor has a 95% pass rate compared to the 30% national average for CompTIA accredited courses, such as Security Plus and Network Plus. 40% of our alum who've gone through our prestigious GODSU honors programs have also previously matriculated through their earned doctorate programs. Our alum include physicians, ambassadors, statesmen and stateswomen, icons and billionaires, religious leaders, titans in business, global philanthropists such as Ambassador of Ghana to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Bafor A.J. Bewa, Ambassador of Nigeria to the United States, His Excellency Dr. Sylvanus Musafor, billionaire builder and Dean, His Excellency Dr. Michael V. Roberts, former Maritime Minister, Government of Nigeria, Honorable Dr. Leke Olawale, President of FraserNet and Fraser Nation and Power Networking Conference, Dean, His Excellency Dr. George Fraser. Our world-class and esteemed professors include Attorney Her Excellency Reverend Dr. Diane Moore-Eubanks, PhD, Chancellor, Physician Dr. Eric Bizetsky, Clinical Health and Nutrition and GODSU Medical Expert, Physician Her Excellency Rhoda Makinde, PhD, Chief Medical Doctor, GODSU, Medical Missions, Dean Michael V. Roberts, JD, PhD, Dean of Entrepreneurship Studies, Dean George Fraser, PhD, Personal Development Studies, Dean Kyra Eubanks, Dean of Junior Ambassador, Professor Willis Eubanks, PhD, Dean of Cybersecurity Program, Professor Reverend Dr. Joseph Hickman, Associate Professor, Theology Program, Professor Imam Dr. Talib Sharif, Professor Interfaith Program and Chaplaincy, Professor Reverend Dr. William Blake, Theology Program Curriculum Development, Professor His Excellency Dakar, Ethical and Successful Marketing Technique, Entrepreneurial Studies.
Blessings! Spokesperson for GODSU, Ambassador His Excellency Dr. Bafor Ajibewa, Chaplain, Ambassador of Ghana to the USA. Can you please give us a brief introduction and how we can get in contact with you in the embassy?
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. The embassy is in Washington, D.C. on International Drive, and we are very accessible. If it's a matter of landmark, we are between Bangladesh and the Israeli embassy. So we are very easy to find. I'm taking the opportunity to welcome all of you to Ghana. If you haven't visited yet, I think you should, because we more or less sit in the center of the earth. And therefore, when the good Lord was doing the business, he was standing on Ghanaian soil. You remember last year was the year of return, where we were trying to honor all those people who left our shores involuntarily, came into this country, had to deal with a language they never heard of, and yet they mastered it enough to write books and sonnets and whatnot. They didn't have much of an education, and the education they tried to provide for themselves was nothing to write home about. But then, again, they became scientists and inventors and whatnot. And in fact, most of them have contributed to the culture of America as it is today. And therefore, we're only asking that they can visit the homes that their ancestors left, see what is available, take a decision whether they would want to get involved, but we would want them to get involved, because for us, we've always considered African Americans as brothers and sisters. So for Ghana, we consider it your home. And home is where you go and they have to take you in. So our doors are open. You might probably recall that in the course of last year, about over 200 African Americans were given Ghanaian citizenship in an open ceremony and such. We do believe that we have a little gem of a country, and we are encouraging everybody to come and put a certain kind of economic stake in it. Those people who came there earlier and made it, we didn't invite them. They just came and took what they wanted. This time, we are inviting you, and we are inviting you as kinsmen. So if the others who were not related and all that came in and made good, there is absolutely no reason why you cannot come and also make good. We need a certain kind of partnership. Whichever way we look at it, wherever we are, people see us first through our pigmentation. And I'm quite sure that that in itself is something, to stand by. And I can guarantee you that those of you who are African Americans, those of us who are Africans from wherever, we haven't significantly had an objection to being called Black. Now that in itself is a binding wire. We should exploit it. Come to Ghana. I'm quite sure you will love it. And I'm quite sure that it will be good for our relationship across the pond, and also for a fair investment, for a fair return. It will be economically a wonderful exchange between African Americans and Ghanaians. Come to Ghana, you'll love it. Am I okay?
You're wonderful. It's great to see you, Ambassador.
It's good to see you. These days, this thing hanging on the necks of all of us makes it very difficult even to make a move.
I know. I miss you so much. So what we're going to do, because normally we do our residency part of our graduation with you at the Ghanaian Embassy, we're going to do it virtually. So we're excited to see you again through the phone August 14th, but know that we love you and know that we miss you, and that we will be in touch telephonically as well as video. So thank you so much for your time, Ambassador, and thank you for being a volunteer. You've been a study volunteer for GODSU for years. You've traveled with us all over the country, from all over the world, and so we appreciate you, and we love you, we honor you. Thank you so much, sir.
Well, it has been my privilege and my pleasure. Thank you very much for making that possible.
Thank you so much, Ambassador.
Okay. You take care.
We will.
Dr. Her Excellency Ambassador Erikana Chihombore-Kwa is a medical doctor and activist. She's a public speaker, educator, diplomat, founder of medical clinics, and an entrepreneur. She moved to the United States after living many years in Zimbabwe. She's the CEO and founder of Bell Family Medical Centers in the United States. She was the African Union representative between 2017 and 2019. She holds a bachelor's degree in general chemistry, a master's degree in organic chemistry, and a doctor of medicine degree. Chihombore was a family doctor, a family medicine specialist in Tennessee, and she's practiced medicine for over 29 years in Tennessee. And she's also a GODSU honorary doctoral recipient as well, and we're so elated to have her join our GODSU family.
Thank you so much, Chancellor, my sister Diane. I appreciate everything that you're doing. I appreciate the work that you're doing to wake us up. I think as a race, we are going through a very interesting time in history. The 400 years since the children of Africa were taken out of the continent, it's really unbelievable to think that we have been through as much as we have been through, and yet we still have a lot of work to do for us to truly wake up. I find it interesting when you ask them, where are you from? And quite often they will say, almost 100% of the time, I'm originally from Nigeria. Well, if you're originally from Nigeria, where are you from now? It's like, I used to be from Nigeria, but not anymore. And they don't realize that's what they're saying. But somehow, we're too busy running away from our primary anchor. Why are we running away from our primary anchor? We were meant to believe that anything to do with Africa was bad and undesirable. We were meant to believe that everything to do with the Black race was bad and undesirable. We were meant to believe that anything that represents who we are is unacceptable, that we should always aspire to be something that we can never be. Allow me to take you to my village of Zimbabwe. Growing up in my country of Zimbabwe, prior to the British coming to Zimbabwe in 1896, we did not have the color black or the color white. We did not know about Jesus Christ. We had our own higher power. We understood there was a higher power. We had our own name of God and intermediaries who we knew. We could not speak and communicate directly with God. We went through our intermediaries. But the British came and told us that everything we believed in was unacceptable, but they introduced their own religion. They told us about Jesus Christ, and they told us about the angels. They told us that the angels were white, and that there was something called the devil, and that the devil was black. They told us about the color black, told us how the color black looks like, and told us how the color white looked like. Then they proceeded to tell us what the angels symbolized and what the devil symbolized. The angels were perfect, everything desirable, but here is the kicker. Even though they don't look white like the white piece of paper they told us it looked like, they said, oh, by the way, we are white. We represent the angels. And oh, by the way, there's something called the devil. Unacceptable, does all the horrible things. You want nothing to do with the devil, and that devil is black. And by the way, you too are black. Now let's all go to church. Let's all pray. And as we worship, we all want to be like the angels. And the angels who just happen to be white. Let's all pray to a Jesus who, even though in the Bible it is clear that Jesus Christ was not white, his color, skin color is described as crimson in some scriptures. We all know very well when Mary and Joseph were trying to run away from King Herod, they were advised to go to Egypt, not Europe. Why Egypt? Because they knew in Egypt he was going to blend with others who looked like him. If he was a white person, they would have advised them to go to Europe. But there he would stand out like a sore tooth. The issue of white angels and black devils was done intentionally. For those were the instructions the missionaries were given when they came to Africa, to criminalize blackness, to make us believe everything black was undesirable, to make us hate ourselves and aspire to be something we can never be, white. The black woman gave birth to the first human being. Why is it then that those who gave birth to humanity are treated as the scum of the earth? Why is it that we're being told that we are inferior, and yet we know the truth? Why is it that we have accepted these lies I often say a Black man who has had a shop in a Black neighborhood for years, the minute a Chinaman shows up with his own shop, we will walk right past the Black man's shop to patronize the Chinaman. And pretty soon, we are putting the Black man out of business. The reality on the ground in your Africa, in our Africa is, and please pay attention to this. Today, as we speak, there isn't a single African country that has the capacity to build a railway line. There isn't a single African country that has the capacity to build an airport. That capacity is in the diaspora. One of the best airports in the world, the most well-run airport in the world, was built by the majority Black companies and continues to be run by majority Black companies. And I'm talking about the Atlanta airport, the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. And yet, airports are being built every day in Africa by the Chinese, while Africa's children, who are very capable, are sitting in the diaspora. The reason the children of Africa are not building those airports is because the African leaders do not know how to reach them. It's because we are disorganized. We are not united. There's no one place you can pick up a phone call and reach the African diaspora and let the African diaspora know about what is going on in our Africa, because what is going on in our Africa is your inheritance and you deserve to have access to it. Here is the reality on the ground, my brothers and sisters. Come next year, the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area is going to begin. The Chinese, who are already in Africa, are getting ready to quadruple their presence. They're getting ready and mobilizing all their financial resources. The Europeans who have been in Africa for centuries are getting ready to quadruple their presence. Because why? They know that the capacity that is needed to build a sustainable Africa is in the diaspora. It is not on the continent. But they also know that the diaspora, the true inheritors, are fast asleep. So come next year, just picture what's getting ready to come from the West and what is getting ready to come from the East. There is a void in Africa. And that void is what was created by the brain drain that took place over the past 400 years, the brain drain out of Africa. When the slavers took the children of Africa as slaves, they took the best and the fittest that Africa had. And then we have the latest migrants who left Africa in search of greener pastures, some running away from famine and war. The end result is the void that was created by the brain drain. It is precisely the void that is being filled by the Chinese and by the Europeans. The question I have for you, my brothers and sisters, Africa remains the richest continent on earth. In spite of many centuries of exploitation, the colonizers have only taken maybe 10% of Africa's natural resources. There's still plenty of natural resources that belong to you and I. Every day we are discovering more and more natural resources in our beloved Africa. Here is the reality on the ground. Come next year, the question I have for you, children of Africa, there is a seat that has your name. If you do not occupy that seat, others will occupy that seat for you. For you to stop asking the question, why is it that the Chinese are getting the contracts to build Africa? Well, they're getting the contracts because you are missing in action, because you are not available to take over that contract. The reality is the Cape to Cairo highway is going to be built. The Senegal to Djibouti high-speed rail is going to be built, and highways everywhere in between. New cities are going to be built, ports are going to be built. The question is, by who? That is your inheritance. The continent, which is producing 50% of the world gold, the continent which produces the largest amounts of platinum in the world, the continent which is the second largest producer of diamonds, the continent with over 65% of the arable land in the world, the continent which is the largest producer of coltan, I can go on and on and on, is your continent. They are ready to come take everything that's on the continent. The African heads of states are saying, Ambassador, let the children of Africa in the diaspora know that they must come home. They must come and take what belongs to them. You see, the white people are going to Africa poor and they come back rich. The African heads of states are saying, there's nothing wrong with the children of Africa coming home to Africa, investing in Africa, come home poor, and also live your Africa rich. Go back to the United States, go back to Europe and play golf just like they do while your money is working for you in Africa. The time is now, my brothers and sisters. We do not have time to waste. We do not have time to continue to self-hate. We do not have time to continue to distrust each other. I am here to let you know that Africa, if we do not come together this time, is going to be gone for good. The choice is yours. I have registered an entity called African Diaspora Development Institute. This is an entity that I'm hoping we can all come together as children of one mother Africa, that once and for all we can come together and look towards going home once the African Continental Free Trade Area implementation begins. But that this time we are not going to in as fragmented Africans, but rather we are going back home together as a united front, a united, beautiful, intelligent, sophisticated, highly adaptable, and totally indestructible front, family of one mother Africa. Please, I urge all of you to go to our ADDI, that's OUR, and sign up. We want to know who you are professionally. We want to know if you are an organization, if you are a company, what services do you offer? So come time to go home, we want to be able to find you. Let's go home, my brothers and sisters. And for the purposes of waking up, I've also written a book which is called Africa 101, The Wake Up Call. I understand if we are to succeed at coming together, we must understand our history. Africa 101, The Wake Up Call is educating us about our history, what they have done to us during slavery, during colonization, after independence, the games they continue to play with us today, and the reasons why you and I must wake up and unite and realize as children, one mother Africa, we must unite and work towards a common destiny. And that is going home to Africa and claim our inheritance. I thank you.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Thank you so much, my sister. I really, truly appreciate you. We are in it together. We are a wounded people, and we are only going to survive when we come together. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome, Her Excellence.
And we have helping with entrepreneurial encouragement, Dean His Excellency Dr. Michael B. Roberts, Chaplain, CEO, Roberts Riverwalk Hotel, and author of Action Has No Season 2.0. Can you please give us a brief introduction and how we can get in contact with you?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Dr. Diane and Dakar, let me just say this. You guys continue to impress the world. There are folks now from coast to coast and outside of our coast here in the United States who are supporting you and listening to you and your training and your teaching. And I can't tell you how proud I am of you and to have been there when you started and to follow that career. And you allowed for so many people to be honored with their chaplaincy and their doctorates. And it just makes a human feel more important and more valuable to the community and to themselves when we're able to honor them the way you've honored them. And I just think you should continue to do this forever. I'm sure you will. I have no doubt. You also have your legacy with your three behind you, your three beautiful children, all of whom are, you know, the brightest and sharpest kids anyone will ever find anywhere. And that's because of the way you and your husband have poured in the leadership and the commitment back to our community. And this is what we need more parents to do. So unlike, you know, the whole more modern term of mentoring, where it's sort of a person and a person, what I did was I wrote a book, Action Has No Season, and Action Has No Season 2.0, 2 different books. And I provide the data in there, which is the mentoring data.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm able to mentor literally everyone who reads the book, thousands of people. And it's written in a fashion. I mean, you and I are lawyers, you know, we can write big fancy words and people have to grab the dictionary just to look it up. I recognize the importance of writing it, you know, when I was in politics and was an alderman and run for office, whenever we wrote our brochures, you write your brochures about who you are so a fifth grader will understand it.
Right.
You follow me? It can be deep stuff, but it has to be easy to read and understand so that anyone can understand it. And I think that any mentor who's worth their salt has to be able to, whether it's in writing, as I've done it, or face-to-face, they have to be able to come to the level of the person they're talking to and speak to them on that level, but with the more profound result and types of data that you're trying to deploy to that individual. So that's how I kind of define and perceive the concept of mentoring. Well, every day when you wake up, you're given 86,400 seconds. That's the number of seconds in the day. And the moment you think of the moment, it's already gone. So therefore, if you're going to do anything or take action, you need to do it immediately. You don't wait for a certain time in the future in a season to take action. There is no season for action. Action is in the now. It's the existential approach. It's more importantly, it's the actionnaire approach. And as you well know, I coined the word the actionnaire, and that's one who takes their ideas, their dreams, their vision, their passion, and they pursue them with courage and confidence and bravado. But you're pursuing them then, not waiting for something to come your way, hopefully, but more importantly, you make the way. You know, in business, I see people sometimes thinking and lamenting and worrying about how their business is going to do against competition. And I tell them, don't you sit there and cry over what will happen potentially with this competition. You make the competition cry about the fact that you are there.
That's right. I love it. I love it.
Yes. But if your question is what should be implemented the most in today's world within our academic setting, I think we have to do that which we can to help people realize that as we move to the next decade and beyond, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and robotics will be taking over, and it's going to create a change. Now, it's pretty fundamental. Change is coming, right?
Yes.
In different ways. The question is, will you allow change to control you, or will you control the change? So I say to students and to anyone moving along in an academic world or outside of that, prepare yourself for the change that's coming. Anybody who has a job today that is repetitive in nature, by 2030, 2035, they will not have a job. 50% of the people who have jobs today will not have them because of automation and robotics. We're going to see big changes there. So the question becomes, how do we embrace that and become the entrepreneur that builds on this future dynamic?
Yeah.
And I will tell you that this COVID-19 shift one that is making us potentially already forced into this futuristic system. Why? How can I say and defend that? Why? Because of what we're doing right now.
Yes.
I mean, normally this would be a face-to-face interview, and it would be an interview that the class of GODSU would have in a room with each other.
Yes.
But how are we doing it? So we're going to have much more of this type of activity, and this is a big paradigm shift. This is shifting as we have been accustomed to the future. And the younger people who are seeing this for the first time, this will be normal for them.
It's
you see?
true.
And so the question becomes, how are we going to even enhance this experience?
It is, and it's funny because over a decade ago when I sat with you in Atlanta, and I gave you what I thought my vision was, and you put my vision up to another level. And I was thinking of a traditional brick and mortar, and you said online is fine. And the fact that we listened to you, now a lot of the other older, larger institutions now are trying to catch up to us because we've been doing this for a decade after we talked to you. So some of the innovative things that you've come up with is way ahead of other people, and it has prepared us for where we are today. I want to ask, and when I met you, all of my family, my children, my husband, everybody sat down and read Action Has No Season. And now we have Action Has No Season 2.0. What's in Action Has No Season 2.0 that's not in the first book that will get other people ready so they can be a decade ahead the way you have advised us to be?
Well, Action Has No Season 2.0 is a workbook. It will have chapters on how to develop your mindset in business, how to deal with predicaments as a chapter. And after each chapter, I have questions, and I leave lines for you to actually write. So you can actually take a test. More importantly, it's putting a mirror in front of you to look at yourself. So if I read it, if you read the chapter and you understand it, then I may ask you questions in the book that relate to you, and you then answer in writing right there if you wish. I just hope that next time I'm there for a conference, that Dakar will continue to play on my basketball team and not play against me.
Oh, yes, that's true. Because for those who don't know, whenever we get together for our seminars, for our graduations, Dean, His Excellency, is always the captain of the mentors basketball game. And then the younger guys who are like 30s and under are supposed to be the mentee. But because of who he is, he gets to choose his team. And Dakar is always on his team. And between the two of them, they have monopolized, and they always win the game. So Dean Kappa here, His Excellency, always wins the game.
I would prefer that if you're going to buy my book, to try to find a black bookstore, and then they would get it online. If you can't do that, then go to Amazon.com and type in Michael B. Roberts. Action Has No Season 2.0, and you'll be able to pull it up right there and buy it right off of the Amazon network. So that's pretty much the only way to do it in today's world. That's the best way to do it, the fastest way. And it's on Kindle too, so you can download it if you wish.
And everybody in here has their own copy, the first one and the second one. And as I said, we're doing a class that will be Action Has No Season 2.0, and they will have to get that as the workbook, and the class will be on Tuesdays or Thursdays. We haven't decided. Right now we have 4 classes going on Thursday evenings, so it might be on a Tuesday evening. We will let you know.
Well, let me add one thing, and I need to thank you also for letting my daughter speak at one of our last graduations. She was very happy to have done that, Megan, and she's written several other documents and position papers. She continues. The original title was going to be Action Has No Season, Roman numeral 2. It was you who said, no, you have to call it 2.0. So I have to give you credit for helping me in the naming of that title. It was you who did that. And I listen carefully to you because you too are a mentor and have been helpful in framing it, the thinking and the thought process of me as well as many others. Well.
Oh, but it's my pleasure, it's my honor, and you know how much I truly love you, Dr. Michael. So thank you so much for being here, being our mentor, and whatever we can do to ensure that others follow in your footsteps, that's what we're going to do.
Can you please give us how we can get in contact with you?
Hello, everyone. It is my email address is rramvrsr@aol.com. That's the old school AOL. I'll repeat it, rramvrsr@aol.com. And that's the best way to reach out to me as well. So it is a pleasure to see our other guests who are online here. And we just had a wonderful dialogue.